Our next talk is titled, Why Today's Hobbies Are Yesterday's Work. Erich Strehl, prior to moving to Colorado, spent the last 10 years as CEO of a nonprofit development organization in Israel and Palestine. Erich is currently pastor of Front Range Community Church in Severance, and he's an avid Red Wings fan. Welcome, Erich. That was really quiet. He wondered whether he should use that, and I told him he should. Next time we'll do one that gets applause. How about that?
All right, thank you. Two people ascend the top of a mountain. One takes the cable car, while the other does a traditional mountain ascent. Who more greatly values reaching the summit? Most of us would probably agree the one that went by foot. But the question I want to ask you this evening is why? My family has a cabin up in Canada, and one summer we spent the entire time up there felling trees and taking off the bark in order to prepare these logs for a deck we were building on the front of the cabin. It was our tradition to each night look over the placid lake and watch the sunset, but by the end of our week there, we had oriented our chairs away from the lake and instead fixed our gaze upon a pile of logs that we had spent the entire week preparing. There was something incredibly and deeply satisfying about participating in the process of our work and then observing the product of our labor. Why is it that so many people spend countless hours cultivating a garden or going up into the mountains to spend days hunting and fishing when they do the same thing with a 15-minute drive to the supermarket? Why are so many of the things we call today hobbies work as of 100 years ago? The question I want to ask this evening, is it nostalgia? Is it longing for a simpler times, or is it perhaps a byproduct or a remnant of our human evolution as a species? Or maybe it's even something spiritual, perhaps the reflection of an image of a divine creator who, as the book of Genesis says, is taking part in the process of creation and then stepping back and calling it good. In the next 3.5 minutes, I want to explore the history of work beginning 3 million years ago with the Paleolithic era and working our way toward the present day. You laugh, or at least you're supposed to laugh. That's my one joke in this entire presentation. But the history of work has remained relatively unchanged throughout the course of history. People engaged in their work and they saw a final product. That is, up until 200 years ago in the Industrial Revolution. In the Industrial Revolution, technology emerged that bypassed certain aspects of work that were innate to human dignity. Work became more efficient and more productive, but it became less fulfilling. It became less human. Adam Smith, the father of modern economics, has said that when we lose human dignity when the character and nature of work has changed. He is quoted as saying, "The man whose whole life is spent in performing a few simple operations of which the effects are perhaps always the same becomes as stupid and as ignorant as it is possible for a human creature to become." But it doesn't just stop 200 years ago. Recently, a study was done by the Energy Group and published in the New York Times under the name Why You Hate Work, and it said, for most of us, work is a depleting, dispiriting experience, and in many obvious ways it's getting worse. But it didn't just stop there. They went on to say, for those individuals who can find meaning and significance in their work, they were 3 times more likely to continue in their jobs. And this was the highest single impact of any variable in the survey. Researchers go on to state that once human needs are met, food, water, and shelter, individuals begin immediately looking and searching for finding meaning and significance in their lives. One of the ways we do this is called through a need for achievement, which in summary and short, a definition would be for those individuals who can find value in the work that we do on a day-to-day basis. There's a study that many of you may be familiar with called the IKEA effect, when labor leads to love. And the study compares 2 groups of people, one that participated in the process of their labor and saw a final product, and another group that didn't do it at all, but they still received the final product. The conclusion of the study said that individuals found an increase in valuation of self-made products, but only when those products were completed from start to finish. What does all this mean? It means that human beings are innately and hardwired to search for values such as meaning, significance, and achievement. And perhaps this is the reason why we gravitate toward activities that are antiquated, such as hunting and fishing and gardening. So regardless of whether you believe this is part of an evolutionary process of mankind, or perhaps you believe this is somehow a reflection of a divine creator, know that when you participate in the process of work, you're doing something that's innately human. So this summer, go out and plant a garden, climb a mountain, enjoy the Colorado rivers, and know that when you're doing so, you're participating in something very ancient, very necessary, perhaps even a divine part of what it means to be human. If you have any questions or comments or would like to get in touch with me, please feel free to do so at my email address, erichforrest@mac.com. Thank you for your attention and have a great night.